keep your arms, legs, and personal items inside the tram. Also, please be mindful of your fellow passengers so everyone can hear the tour clearly. Now let's get started.
Oh, a breeze.
It's in the shade.
Oh, it's hot.
The wind's blowing. This is what I got to put up with on this trip.
Shut up.
The asshole.
I like doing stupid shit like that. I'm here to have fun here,
Okay.
but I don't want to have fun by myself. I want to have
Right.
fun with you.
Our tour starts with the Navy and Marine aircraft collection, featuring carrier-based planes that perform similar roles of that as land-based fighters and bombers. These aircraft have reinforced structures to withstand the powerful forces of taking off and landing on aircraft carrier decks. Landing on an aircraft carrier is extremely challenging, with a short 500-foot runway and only 4 cables to catch the plane. And also, the deck is usually moving at 35 miles an hour while shifting up to 30 feet. Studies have also shown that landing on an aircraft carrier is more stressful than combat, requiring pilots to have exceptional skill and precision. The first plane we're going to focus on is to our left is a McDonnell Douglas FA-18 Hornet, painted in the Blue Angels blue and yellow. Now this fighter jet is actually being used by both the United States Marine Corps and the Navy as well. Now it was first introduced in the early 1980s, and newer versions are expected to stay in service for years to come.
I like this. Gives our feet the rest.
This ride costs $10 a person.
On the left side of the trim, you'll see the EA-6B Prowler, a gray aircraft with a long tube extending from its nose. Designed for electronic warfare, this plane specializes in jamming or even destroying enemy radar systems. This particular Prowler has a fascinating history, and in the late 1990s the Marines needed additional Prowlers, so they refurbished older aircraft. To create this plane on the left, parts from 3 stored Prowlers are combined here at the Agmar facility here in Tucson. This plane entered service in 2004 and earned the nickname Frankenprowler due to its unique construction.
My buddy he said that during
Vigilante. T-33, T-28.
To your right is a 2-seat trainer version of the Gloucester Meteor, Great Britain's first jet fighter. It was the only Allied jet to see combat during World War II, and the 2-seat trainer model like you see here with us today on your right was introduced in 1948, after the war, with over 700 built for Great Britain and 7 other countries. Today, 2 Meteor trainers are still in service at the Martin Baker Company for ejection seat testing. And this aircraft was restored using the nose of a night fighter, as its original trainer nose was missing when the museum acquired it. Sticking to the right side of the tram, you'll see many of the museums are their trainer aircraft. Military trainers usually have 2 seats, one for an instructor and one for a student. New pilots begin with fundamental flight training that include taking off and landing as well as getting familiar with other controls, and this usually takes place in smaller propeller-driven aircraft. Now, after mastering the basics, they progress to more advanced, faster aircraft, often jet-powered, where they begin training a high-speed flight and aerial combat fundamentals.
No, it's American. They just painted it that way because it's Aggressor Squadron.
Well, that's what I meant.
Yeah.
Air Force One. Two of them.
The Seppicat Jaguar, or the pink aircraft to your right, often catches guest attention due to its unique color. Initially designed as a two-seat supersonic jet trainer and light attack aircraft, it was ultimately developed into a single-seat interceptor that also had nuclear capabilities. The Jaguar served the French and British Air Forces during the 1970s, and this plane also flew with the British Royal Air Force during the First Gulf War. Its unique color is known as desert pink, and the color provided effective camouflage during operations in the desert sands of the Middle East.
There she is. Not far walk from where we get off the tram at. Ooh, look, Connie.
That one's First Air Force One.
The yellow and black plane to the right is the Fokker C-31 troop ship, a military version of the F-27 friendship airliner designed in the Netherlands. This aircraft is one of two that was delivered to the United States Army to be used by the Golden Knights parachute demonstration team, and it served with them from 1985 to 2018. The Golden Knights perform at air shows worldwide and take celebrities and dignitaries on tandem jumps, including former President George H.W. Bush in 2004. The next section of aircraft you'll see on the right are VIP transports. These aircraft are used to provide transportation to high-ranking military officers and government officials. The first VIP transport you will see to the right is the triple-tailed Lockheed VC-121 Constellation. And this aircraft was used by General Dwight Eisenhower when he was commander of Allied forces in Europe after World War II. It is named Columbine after the state flower of Colorado, and you can see the flower represented on the nose of the plane.
Marine One.
Right next to the Constellation is the green VH-34 Choctaw helicopter. Now this was an Army VIP transport helicopter converted from a cargo and troop transport helicopter. This aircraft you are looking at on the right carried Presidents Eisenhower, Kennedy, and Johnson between 1960 and 1964. In the beginning in 1964, all presidential helicopter operations were actually transferred to the United States Marine Corps instead of the Army.
So it's Army One.
The next two planes on our right have both carried U.S. presidents and use the call sign Air Force One. The first of these planes is the VC-137B, a military version of the Boeing 707 airliner. This plane joined the presidential fleet in 1959 and was as the second of five to serve the executive branch. While primarily used as a VIP transport, this plane once carried President Kennedy. In 1981, this same aircraft brought 52 American hostages home from Iran using the call sign Freedom One, which was also used once again in 1991 to transport POWs from Iraq after the Gulf War. Before this plane's eventual retirement, it also served as Air Force Two for Vice President Al Gore. next Air Force One is the Douglas VC-118A Liftmaster. This aircraft, based on the Douglas DC-6 airliner, was the last propeller-driven plane designated as a primary aircraft for the United States President. This aircraft served Presidents Kennedy and Johnson, who favored larger, faster jets. However, this plane remained in the Air Force One fleet due to its ability to access smaller airports that could not accommodate the larger jets.
TWF. Iconic. Make note. That building's air conditioning.
On the right are two later versions of the F-86 Sabre. And this plane is the first swept-wing jet fighter to go into service for the United States. And it was used during the Korean War to compete with the Soviet-designed MiG-15. The H version with the black and yellow tail markings features a larger fuselage and updated weaponry. It's also the last non-radar equipped Sabre to be put into service. Now, the L version with the blue and white tail markings was a radar-equipped interceptor version of the Sabre. You can notice a different shape of the nose, which accommodates the radar equipment. On the left is the 390th Memorial Museum, and inside they have a fully restored World War II B-17 Flying Fortress, and as well as artifacts of the 390th Bomb Group. While this museum operates separately from the Pima Air and Space Museum, admission is still free for all visitors, and you're welcome to walk back to the museum after the end of our tour.
This one here, Dennis, is called a Voodoo.
The green one?
For reconnaissance aircraft. See the camera thing in the nose.
I figured it'd be a fighter.
The group of aircraft to the left are the Harriers. This is a collection of various versions of a vertical takeoff and landing jet fighter. Originally designed by Hawker Aviation in the United Kingdom, the Harrier was adopted by the British military and United States Marine Corps in the 1970s. Four rotating nozzles under the wings direct the exhaust from the engine downward for vertical flight. The silver aircraft in the center is a 1964 Kestrel prototype that led to the first Harrier production in 1969. The surrounding aircraft, all built in England, served in the British Royal Navy, the RAF, and the United States Marine Corps. Next up is our United States Air Force supersonic jet fighters. The introduction of jet engines at the end of World War II brought the quest for ever faster speeds to the forefront of fighter aircraft development in the 1950s and 60s. Examples of this design philosophy are the two light gray colored aircraft to the right side of the tram. The F-102 Delta Dagger has red tail markings, and the F-106 Delta Dart has yellow tail markings. Both these aircraft were designed as high-speed interceptors, and the plane's triangular or delta-shaped wings are very efficient at high speeds, but at the same time make them significantly less maneuverable